a lively discussion concerning where you are to look to find your higher self, your God self. Thus, the reason why I start this video by stating that there's no reason for you to be looking on the outside for anyone to save you, to deliver you. Okay? So I'm saying to you, stop looking for God outside. In other words, I'm saying to change your direction and your focus, and be also willing to unlearn and be willing to relearn and reprogram your life to lead you in a different direction. And that direction is within. Everything that you need, the answer can be found within you. Now, as I speak to you, there are millions, not billions of people all around the world who actually believe that today carries a special date and a special month and a special year. They really, really, really believe it. And so they will gather at Times Square and they will do a countdown. And people will chop themselves in the same paradigm from the last cycle. So, in truth and in fact, we are experiencing a cycle of light and darkness, and people fail to realize it's just the cycle of light and darkness that there's no such a thing as really actually like a Monday and a Tuesday and so on and a Thursday. There's no such a thing as a January and a February and a March and so on. Okay. So, in short, you're either living your life right now in darkness or in light. You can either be asleep or awake. Well, if you are asleep, I'm trying to awake you to the power that is within you. And that power that is within you is what I'm introducing you to. But for you to really, really get in touch with that power that is within you, you have to start by loving and believing yourself. You can't believe in any entity outside of self. In other words, any entity outside of your consciousness, outside of your awareness. So right now, as I speak to you, there are millions of people right now in churches, seated, clapping, singing, dancing, believing that there's some outside savior and some outside Lord and Master. And many of them are not quite aware of what's happening in their own surrounding. Like, for example, anyone who have any form of insight or intelligence, or anyone who have any form of common sense, can see the power struggle that is happening in the world right now, and how America, China, and Russia, Iran, and all of these countries are in a race, AI race, okay, to use artificial intelligence to further enslave and oppress the people of the world from discovering their higher self or their God self, from looking within, from discovering the real intelligence that is within themselves, the real AI, which is the astral intelligence that is within themselves. They can lead them and guide them to govern their life. And so because people take their energy and they give their energy away to what they call government, these people are governing the mental of those who do not want to think for themselves. And so you can see how bold-faced America is in these times when they show you that they are actually pirates. They like pirates, bay-faced pirates. They can just come and capture your land and take your resources and control your resources and control your people. Yet these are the people who are telling you about God and the outside. These are the people who are telling you that in God we trust. These are the same people who are telling you that you grew up in a godly nation. These are the same people that introduce you to some intelligence outside of yourself. So when you look at politics and religion, you see that politics and religion is here to block you from knowing exactly who you are and the power that you possess. That's why they point you to a God and the outside. So I'm saying to you, stop looking for God and the outside, because the intelligence is within. That's why I've been teaching the inner sun science and technology to create your reality consciously. Because if you just look around, just take a simple look around and you'll see. Okay, and even in my background, you can see the sun. And the sunlight is what gives energy to all of nature. And is what gives energy to all of humanity. So all your science, all your technology, all the governmental system, all the religious system, it is not new under the sun. That's why it is stated in the book of Mind Science, okay, the sun book, which is basically the Bible. Okay, and when I speak about sun, is S-U-N. So all the people who in church today and so on, they believe in a S-O-N, and they use the board, they have the S-U-N and tell them as the board, they have a S-O-N who existed thousands of years ago, and the whole world believes a lie. The whole world bow before a lie. The whole world celebrates a lie. Just as how the whole world uses money as a medium of exchange, where money itself has no intrinsic value of its own, and we give value to it. Well, if the whole world could have been convinced, okay, to use a certain currency, okay, as a medium of exchange, and people would do any and everything just to have what we refer to as money. If that could be used and the entire world could follow that, it means that you could indoctrinate a people. It means that you could influence how people think and what they do and how they live. So basically, there is some influence that is taking place in your life. But the greatest influence is when you've been influenced to look within, because that is what set me free. That is what brought freedom to me. And that is why I'm sharing the same thing with you. You see, it wasn't until I got my inner experience, my inner awakening, that I realized that you have to experience the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And then when you have that experience, you know that is the dawning of a new day in your life. When I say a new day, I'm talking about a new cycle, okay, of light, a new cycle of intelligence, because you're now on a different path that you wasn't on before. In other words, you vibrate to another level, okay? So only when you focus your energy inwardly that you would have this kind of discovery that I'm speaking about. So the whole world believes and follows a lie, okay? The lie of a God on the outside. And so everybody is searching for this God on the outside. Everybody is hoping and wishing that one day someone gonna come and deliver them. But I'm saying that the delivering power is within you. The redeeming power is within you. The power to heal yourself is within you. All is mine. We are living in a mental construct. Okay? You see, everything in this world, it had to first be imagined. It had to first be an idea. And you have to put action to the non-physical, which is basically the idea that you may have in your mind. And when you put action to it, a science is taking place, a science of alchemy, where you are transmuting your intention into what we call reality in this three-dimensional physical world. So, my brother, my sisters, the greatest message, okay, is know thyself. And it's only when you know yourself, you will discover all of the lies. Because we've been lied to by our governments, we've been lied to by our religious leaders, we've been even lied to by our school teachers, though many a times they do it out of ignorance. But I'm saying to you that it's never too late for you to find your higher self. And it's never too late for you to love, embrace, and believe in yourself. Okay, so man, know thyself. That would always be the greatest teaching. Doesn't matter what age you're living in. Once you focus on the intelligence that is within you by doing certain rituals and certain practices in a mindful way, like for example, if every day you make it your business to spend 10 or 15 minutes in isolation, find yourself in nature, take off your shoe, get grounded, get sunlight, find a place whereby you can get involved in mindful breathing or even in mindful thinking. We all involved in self-talk. But when you get involved in conscious and uplifting self-talk, it will help to shape your life. You see, you cannot change the system, but you can change yourself. Okay? No one could have gone and saved Maduro from the president of America regime and what they've been planning for years. But the power that you have over your mind is what you can use to live life on your own terms. And in order for you to do that, you have to make a choice. You have to realize that they are man-made government that they make up to govern the people's mental and to keep the people in deception and oppression. And you have to understand that they are government whereby you born with certain mental faculties in this world. And once you learn to master those mental faculties that you're born in this world, you become the government of your own affairs, your internal affairs. And that is what I've been really, really trying to get across to you. Okay. So for all the people who've been listening to me, all the people who've been tuning in, it's really a blessing. Okay. We are in another cycle. Okay. But it's not a new year as they tell you. Okay. It's just another cycle. Okay. Of light and darkness. And you given the choice whether you're going to continue to expand and grow, if you're going to remain stagnant, if you're going to remain with a limited mindset, you're going to become more limitless and become more spiritual than physical. You see, most people trap themselves in the physical and they hold to false identity. But I'm introducing you to your real identity, which is your divinity. That's what I'm saying. Focus your energy inwardly and live in the now. Always live in the now. There's no yesterday. There's no tomorrow. There's only now. So many people have allowed themselves to get trapped in what they call New Year's Eve. because they believe that if they make certain resolution like New Year resolution and so on, that thing is gonna work out. But no, is you understanding consciousness, understanding your awareness, understanding cause and effect, and realize that there's nothing new under the sun. And so as the sun go through its different cycles, so you have to understand that you have to experience different cycles in your life, but all of them must be working towards your expansion and your growth. It must be working towards you elevating yourself and not keeping yourself down and keeping yourself in false, identity and false belief. Okay. So let me take this time out to just shout up all those people who have tuned in and who have commented. I want to thank Tina Marie for reaching out. Blessing to you. Okay. If I'm a king, you are a queen. Okay. And that's how we are to see ourselves as kings and queens, our gods and goddesses and so on. Okay. We have to see ourselves from the higher place. We have to see ourselves from a limitless place. We have to know that we are God having a human experience. That's something we have to know for our own self. No one can make you know that for yourself. Okay. You have to be able to create consciously. You have to be able to generate whatever wealth and prosperity that you would like to experience in your life, and you have to do it consciously. But you can't do it if you're looking outwardly for some savior to come and save you, or you're looking on the outsides of someone to come and redeem you. No one is going to come and save you or redeem you. You have to be the one who have to realize that when you're thirsty, that water is your savior. You have to be the one who have to realize that when you're hungry, that food is your savior. And you can't get water, you can't get food without the sun. Common sense will teach you that the sun is actually the light of the world. It is the savior of the world. So that spark that is lying dormant within you is what I want to activate by bringing this message to you, saying to you that you must stop looking for God on the outside. There's no God on the outside. There's God within. You see, everything that you see without on the outside is a reflection of that which is within. We look at nature and you see all the things on the outside, and it's just a reflection of everything that is within. That is why everything on the outside, it has a name and it has a characteristic. Okay? So you see everything bringing forth after its own kind. It is just to tell you, as you think in the non-physical, as you apply yourself in the non-physical world through thoughts, and your thoughts, they are vibratory in nature, and they come off of your true essence, which is energy. So you be in that mass of energy, you vibrate on a certain frequency based on your mentality. So it's vibration, energy, and frequency. So me speaking to you is me in a certain vibration and a certain frequency and transmuting my energy. Therefore, if your energy is in alignment with my energy, my vibration, and my frequency, we will see the same things. That's why they say great minds think alike. That's why it also states that can two walk together unless they agree? There must be one agreement. Okay. So most of the world is in agreement of looking on the outside. And though time after time, they've been losing and ending up being most of the time the borrower and not the lender. They end up being beneath and not above. Yet they continue to do the same things, yet they expect to see change. But I'm saying you cannot see change if you're doing the same old thing and getting the same old result, and you're doing the same thing and you expect to get change. It's not going to happen. That is insanity. So they're keeping you in a state of insanity by having you looking outwardly. So most of the world have been looking outwardly. That's why they use social media and they use the news and so on to distract you and to have you focusing your energy outwardly. Okay? But when you become more intelligent and you become more discerning, because you allow your intuition to lead you and to guide you, and you allow your inner teacher, okay, to lead you and guide you, you will look and see what is happening in the world. I mean to say, anyone who comes in will see that, it was only a matter of time before they invade Venezuela and before they capture a democratically elected minister. And the country who do it is a country who teaches and preaches, you understand, democracy, and who like to talk about democracy, and who like to talk about freedom and land of opportunity and so on. And a man was elected, by the people in order for them to strengthen their kingdom. They had to come up with reasons to invade. So if they're going to invade a sovereign country, well, just imagine how much they invaded, they would have invaded your real identity of knowing your divinity. So, for example, right now, anyone with any form of discernment would realize that right now America is in its weakest state, because you can see the vulnerability, which means also that secular Christianity and the religious mentality that they create in the minds of people is getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, because people are seeing clearer and clearer every day because of where we are in science and technology and where the earth is vibrationally. Okay, so we are vibrating to a higher frequency. That is why only people who have vibrated to a higher level of frequency will be able to understand me. They will be able to understand what they would have hidden for centuries in secret society and brotherhood and so on, secret brotherhood and fraternity. And as a melanated person, you see that your own people will be selling you out. Yeah, you see your own people would have agreed and they would have signed to certain declaration and so on to continue to keep you a perpetual slave by having you looking on the outside. I was looking on the outside. That's why they feed the world with a slogan that says that Jesus is coming soon. It's always soon. But there's no proximity. They can't tell you from where he's coming from. Now, when he's coming, they can't tell you none of that. And so, because I am living in the Caribbean island, and the whole Caribbean island have been colonialized, most people today in churches worshiping, and they will go so far they might even want to say they're going to pray for the people of Venezuela. Yet they're still in the same system. And then they're going to vote for government who going to support that same kind of system and keep people on the same kind of system. So we see what happened in Gaza. Now we see what happening right now in Venezuela. And we see that all of that is to show us that we can either be a master or a slave on this planet. So the choice is yours. So whether you support the Democrat or you support the Republican, anyone you support, it will keep you a slave. That is why the X, for example, X represent your Christ self. That's why well, I don't even want to use the word pagan. What they call Christmas, okay? Sometimes they refer to it as Xmas, because X represents the Christ, okay? And you're taking that X and you're marking the X. You're giving your Christ energy away and don't even realize it. So more and more, when you see the behavior of these leaders and you see how much when you become a soul dyer, a soldier, what they call a soldier, is a soul dyer. You're signing a contract with your life as a sacrifice. While these men sit in the air-conditioned offices and homes and protect their wives, their children, and their generation. Could you imagine how many families that have gone on these ships that they send in the Caribbean and these helicopters and so on, these submarines, okay, and they have to leave their families alone to serve the will of the king, King Trump, okay? So politics and religion and fake education is what is keeping people looking on the outside for answers. And that's what I'm basically saying. Don't look on the outside for any answer. Don't look on the outside for God. In short, I'm saying do not look for the invisible on the outside. That's all I'm saying. So there's no sky daddy. There's no sky God. Okay, the power is within you. The intelligence is within you. All the oil and mineral and all of these things that men are fighting war for, it represents something within you. You have the oil within you. You have an oil at the base of your spine and at the top of your head. You have an oil. And when those two oil meet at the base of your spine, then you will discover the richest place on earth. Then you would discover the greatest intelligence there is, which is the intelligence of know thyself, your real self. Then you know that you are nothing. And out of nothing comes everything. And then you start to use the science of taking nothing to get everything. It is called alchemy. And you have to understand your biology, your physiology, your psychology, which means you have to really, 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 really experience what it really means when it says, as a man thinketh in his heart. Your heart is the place of your consciousness, the seat of consciousness. As you think there, so shall you create here. So my brother, my sister, it doesn't matter whether is it China or Russia or Iran or North Korea or America, whoever is in charge and running the system of the world. Once you run the real system of your body, the system that have you here having this human experience, once you're in charge of that system, you will always be triumphant because you'll be able to create consciously. That is why America is not the land of opportunity. Canada is not the land of opportunity. England is not the land of opportunity. The land of opportunity is right between your two ears. Right between your two ears is the land of opportunity. But you have to focus your energy inwardly. So my brother, my sisters, I'm just going to read the rest of the comments here, okay, because this is going to be the end of this lecture, okay, where I'm saying stop looking for God on the outside, okay. That is why they could do all the things that they're doing in the world right now, all the things that Trump doing, Elon Musk, all of these people, okay, Jeff Bezos, you name it, all the oligarchs and so on. It is because of people give them so much power by giving them their energy, Okay. But when you understand that everything is one, and you understand your oneness, and you realize the universal language of consciousness, and you tap into your consciousness, and you start to live life more purposeful. You start to live life in a more um, reminding way. You keep reminding yourself of why you're here. Okay, what you're here to accomplish. You start to understand the whole secret of energy, vibration, and frequency. You put certain things to work in your life and you see the difference. I saw the difference when I was believing in a God on the outside, and the difference when I started just the power within. I know the difference. Okay. I see the results. And results don't argue. Results don't tell lie. That's why I'm not gonna point you to something that doesn't give you result. I'm telling you, okay, believing in politics and religion and fake education, these things, I'm telling you, it's not gonna work in your favor. You're gonna work in the favor of those who want to keep you oppressed. But if you want things to work in your favor and you want to be a real true Lord and master, you have to understand that this life is a game, and you either learn how to play the game or you get played by the game. You know how many people all around the world have gotten played by politicians and got played by preachers and got played by the educational system. Do you know much people whose life been played? And so many of them believe they gone too far to turn back. There are people who have wasted their life in religion for 30-something, 40-something, 50-something years. And they're not realizing that something is wrong. And they believe that they could reason themselves out of it. But no, it's you having a certain experience and you putting things to work, which means you have to take action. Unless you take action, you wouldn't understand what I am talking about. This is not knowledge. This is application. It's only when you apply the knowledge that I'm sharing with you concerning energy, vibration, and frequency, and showing you the reason why you must practice mindful breathing, the reason why you must practice visualization, the reason why you must practice meditation, the reason why you must do scripting and all the different rituals. The reason why you must accept your oneness with the sun, the reason why you must accept your oneness with nature, the reason why you must accept your oneness with everything, the reason why you must accept consciousness as the only reality there is and nothing else. Then you would know your power. Then you would use your power. This is what they don't want you to know. This is what they don't want you to grab hold of. How you can manipulate energy to your own will. How you could bend reality to your will. I've proven it over and over and over. Okay? So, yes, my brother, my sister, I really want to thank you all very much. Ebony Nature, continue peace and tranquility, my brother, and thanks for the love. Thank you too. Thank you for tuning in. Someone say like and subscribe, comment. Yes, make sure to do that. Man, sweet. What time did you go live? Not too long ago. It's about 33 minutes ago since I've started this live. Okay. I'm not going to be too long. Okay. I'm going to stick within an hour because I want to do another live on my other channel. So, hi. Thank you for the word. Okay. You know, your word is the most powerful thing that you possess. It's your wand. You are a magician. It's what you say to yourself. And most people think that they could say things to themselves within and it wouldn't be displayed on the outside. It will always display on the outside. Every one of us, we are naked before each other. But most people do not know that they are naked. Why do you think that churches are filled today with a bunch of people fooling themselves, thinking that they could be good? Because they want to go to a certain extreme. They don't want to practice balance. They want to embrace balance. There's no way you could be religious and believe in balance. It's no way. It is impossible. It is impossible for you to be religious and not be a liar. It is impossible for you to be a religious person, okay, and be not and is not being delusional. You have to be delusional. And if you become delusional, okay, with the right concept of self, you would manifest anything that you desire in this world. So there's a delusional way of thinking whereby people fail to exercise their mind and they just go along with the program and they conform. But there's a delusional whereby when you realize that you are limitless, when you realize that you are the power, when you realize that you can bend reality to your will, you have to become delusional to get the things that you want. Like, for example, if you have just, say, $10 in your bank account, but you become delusional enough that you can add at least 3 0 to that, or even 6 0 to that, and you believe that, okay? And though it is just an assumption, and it seems to be false, if you persist in it, it's going to become a hard and objective fact in this physical three-dimensional world, and it's only you alone will be able to tell the story because you have the experience. That's why to others it will be a mystery, to others it will be a secret, but to you, okay, you know exactly what you did. So I'm saying, my brother, my sister, it wasn't until I stopped looking for God on the outside and I started to look on the inside. But before I started to look on the inside, I had an experience on the inside. I had an awakening experience on the inside that wake me up to a lot of things. Okay, and I want you to wake up too, okay? I thank you for the word. Someone say at 6:30 a.m. you have to hit me up when you go live. Okay. This time around I was very, 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 very busy. Okay, so I had to, I have so much of things going on right now. Okay. So, time is very much limited with me. Okay. Someone says, yeah, remember to turn your notification on. Once you turn your notification on, once I'm on live, once I'm posting or upload anything, you see it. Okay. Someone says, yeah, yes, a higher frequency, this planet is rising too. Yeah, and more and more people are waking up. And to be honest with you, I'm very much grateful for what is happening in the Caribbean right now with America and Venezuela, so people could see. Okay, I mean, if by now you can see that America does put up and bring down government, and this whole thing about democracy is a joke, and it's all about strengthening your empire or your kingdom, and they doesn't take people's life seriously. They just blow up boots and so on, when basically all they want was a regime change. Okay, you see, for example, this thing have to be a joke. You understand? You telling me a country with millions of people, okay, an army from another country could just move in and just capture the president and his wife? Nah, that's something scripted, man. That's scripted. That's something scripted. That's something already been planned. I mean, it's like, leaders and leaders have a certain kind of way how they think, okay? I consider myself a leader, right? And there's certain things, like, for example, there's a church I used to go to many years ago, and if I meet the pastor, I'm not going to harass him. I talk to him. We talk to one another, meet one another. Okay, but we know I disagree with him and the things and so on I teach and so on and all of that. But when I meet him, I don't go disrespect him because of why? I'm a leader and he's a leader. Okay, so I treat him as a leader. Okay, though he's wrong. So basically, these men, even though they're at war, they could go on the phone and call one another and speak to one another when no one else could hear what they're saying. So you do not know what they say to each other. You do not know what they plan. You don't know what the plans are and so on. Okay. So it's all a game. So I'm saying to you, my brother, my sisters, learn to play the game by learning who you are. That's the most important thing. For about those men, they had the desire to become presidents and prime ministers and so on. But you can have the desire to become the best version of yourself. There's something that you're born in this world with in terms of a gift. you have to find that gift and start to walk with that gift, and it's gonna definitely open up doors for you. Yes, it's gonna open up doors for you. We walk by certain law and order. Doesn't matter who is the president of America, he's still under certain law and order. Okay, there's certain laws in this universe that no one can change. You think anyone could plant pumpkin and reap watermelon? It doesn't matter how much technology they have. They can't plant pumpkin and reap watermelon. It could never happen. So that alone is saying there's divine, infinite laws that governs every one of us on this planet. And everything else that they put in place is just a spiller from something that is greater. So I'm saying, find the greater you. Because you're supposed to be the president of your country. Your inner country I'm speaking about. You're supposed to be the president, the ruler, the lord and master of your destiny. Okay? So take responsibility, man. Someone said thank you for the positive words. Yeah, there's nothing more positive than someone encouraging you to believe in yourself. To look within for all the answers of life. That's what I'm saying. Stop looking for God on the outside, man. There's no God on the outside. I prove it for myself. You see, I started out my life looking for God on the outside because that's how they program us in the Caribbean. And once you go through the school system, that's it. The religious system is right there to program you. Okay. But not until I had my awakening experience, and then I go to the internet and I see everything that's been posted on the internet. It's just a confirmation to my experience. And I've been hearing people for years been saying, know thyself, but most people just talking. They're just talking, they can't act. They're not producing anything. They're like the fruitless fig tree. I am telling you, your life would definitely change tremendously if you take responsibility for your thoughts and your actions. If you understand and master the law of cause and effect. If you understand and master the law of correspondence. If you really master and understand the law of opposite, the law of polarity and so on and all the other laws, you will laugh at the judiciary system in your country, you laugh at the political system in your country, and you will be able to see where others not seeing. Okay. And one say, I will be right back. Oh. Speaking to Tina there. Okay. So, my brother, my sisters, my encouragement to you is to practice meditation daily. Make it a lifestyle. Practice affirmation daily. Make it a lifestyle. There's certain mantras that you must repeat yourself daily. There's a mantra that I've been repeating to myself since 2017, and up to this day, I keep using that mantra all the time. I've come to realize that we are the ones who are supposed to be the pilot of our own plane. This is the plane. This is also the ship. And we have to be the captain of this ship. Or someone else will captain the ship for you. Could you imagine you going to school, and then when you leave school, you do not know where to turn, and then someone, whether is it your father, your mother, your brother, or sister, gonna give you some sort of advice, and they're gonna advise you, and they're gonna tell you, well, there's a lot of opportunities in joining the army, and you must go and join the army. And I'm using this example because there's so many men and women leave my country and to go join the British Army when this country was a colony of British and still is a colony of Britain. You understand? And all they could extend to you is opportunity to go and join the army, not to play in the soccer, the professional soccer league and so on, or the cricket league and so on, where you could become very much rich and so on. No, you must go hold a gun and you must fight for them. Because why? You were not informed. There was no one to help you. I grew up without any mother, father around me and so on to raise me the right way. And that's why what I learned late, I'm teaching you early. So you could teach someone else early. Okay, and the main thing I wanted to get from this is to never look for God outside of yourself. The answer is within you. That is it. It's so simple. You will realize that what you call God is your own consciousness of being, the very life that is within you. There's nothing higher than life. There's nothing higher than life. So when people talk about the Most High and they talk about God and they use all different kind of names, there's nothing higher than life. Tell me one thing higher than life. There's nothing higher than life. So if there's God, God is the life in you. So to say, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and you think that you're saying it for someone else, you have to be an idiot. The truth is within you. The life is within you. The way is within you, which means all the answers that you need in life is within you. All the finances you need to attract in your life, it is within you. The status that you need is within you. Becoming a millionaire is within you. Becoming a multi-millionaire is within you. Becoming a billionaire is within you. Everything is within you. Everything exists in consciousness. How do I know that? When I became consciousness itself, pure consciousness, when I became one with the wind, when I realized I had an ability that I can appear and I can disappear, when I realized that I'm visible and invisible, and I realized that the visible me is not the real me, and it's true experience. That is why I do not believe in any man-made theology that is pointing me to look outwardly. So, millions of people around the world looking on the outside. And those who set up the system to have them looking at the outside, they are looking at the inside and they are using their magic. And then they're turning around and telling you, oh, it's not magic, it's this, it's that. It's not magic. No, you're a magical being, okay? And you're carrying a magic wand, which is, do you know that the power of life and death lies in the tongue? Where's more magical than that? Where's more magical than that? Oh my. So my brother, my sister, it's time to wake up and use what is happening around the world to really help you to see. Oh my. Could anyone believe that America would have been so bold-faced in showing the entire world that they are the true pirates of the Caribbean, and they will pirate any country to get their oil, to get their silver, to get their gold, to get their minerals, just to what? Strengthen their kingdom, strengthen their empire. And they will play the game their way. That's why they are choosing who run Venezuela. They are choosing who run these countries. Okay? Because they want to have these leaders as their puppets. And this is just to show you that throughout the entire Caribbean, the people who you refer to as your prime minister and your president, they're little puppets. And then who run in America and these other countries, they too are puppets. There's some government that's still behind them. Okay, that you can see and you don't see. But at least you have the power of choice to be in control of your mentality. That's what I'm saying to you. That's all I'm saying to you. You have the power to control your mind. And I'm saying to you, in order for you to control your mind, you can't believe in no God on the outside. You can't make them fool you. That's why when they're swearing in, they always say, so help me God. They're calling themselves God. And you making them God too, over you, to rule over you when you mark X. Yeah. So my brother, my sisters, take control of your life. Okay, practice meditation every day. Practice visualization, mindful breathing. Okay, mindful thinking. Be the policeman of your mind. And get good books that you can read. Books like Your Mood is Your Fortune. That's one of my books. You can get that book. Your Mood is Your Fortune. That's why I tell you, when you really come to self-knowledge, you realize it doesn't matter who's in power from who not in power. Guys, fake power. We're in a temporary place. You have to always be mindful of your mortality and your immortality. But when you're on this planet, this is a planet of death. This is a planet of mortality. You're gonna die, and you don't know when you're gonna die. But when you take control of your mind and you have the will to live, because you have something to give to this world, and you always want to give whatever you want to give to this world, and you set out your plan and everything, and you're walking towards that. It is put in a certain kind of alignment, a certain kind of peace, okay? And that alignment does be in correlation with the rest of nature, and that's what you want, okay? Someone states here that the Venezuelans are happy about Maduro. You'll always have a split. You'll have those who are happy and those who are not happy. Just like when Trump won in America, you have people who was happy and you have people who were sad. You understand? So you'll have their split. So don't make them fool you and think, and they use the media as propaganda. So you see a bunch of people say, oh, we got Maduro, God, and so on. They show those people. Just like they use Africa and they show you just check the poverty in Africa. And then all of these Caucasian people go and they're taking all of the wealth out of Africa. They carry more and more Bibles in Africa and indoctrinate the people more in Africa, and they take all the wealth to build their economy. Whatever they need in the cell phone, you have to get it out of Africa. Whatever you need for electrical cars and all of these things, you have to get it from some of these places. Why you think they invade in Venezuela and so on? So people who are not in the know, they talk all kind of foolishness. You understand? That's why they give them religion and they have them looking on the outside for someone to save them. Okay, but my brother, my sisters, save yourself. That's all I'm saying. Okay, politics will continue. Religion will continue. Doesn't matter. These things will continue. But you, once you change yourself by changing all of the beliefs that they rape you with, since you are small, a little child, they invaded your subconscious mind and impress certain feeling in your subconscious mind to have you to think and believe a certain way. Once you destroy that paradigm and you reshape and rebuild, you reconstruct, okay? Sometimes you have to reconstruct yourself. So when I say you have to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to reconstruct yourself. When you reconstruct yourself, man, you start to live life on your own terms, man. You're smiling every day. It doesn't have a day I don't smile. And I was happy. Okay? Because, for example, when I think about, like, for example, what happened in Venezuela and with Trump and so on, I just think I see Trump had to go to the toilet, take a shit. You understand? Trump had to bathe. Yeah, put on deodorant. Yeah, brush his teeth. His mouth going to stink. I realize what we have that you don't have. Yeah, nothing that you don't have, except that he had the desire to be in the position that he is because they love power. They love to rule over other people. You understand? But we would all like to rule over people. We are here to motivate other people, to tell people to become the best version of themselves, learn to love themselves and learn to believe in themselves. One of the hardest thing is to go in the mirror and look in the mirror and say, I love you. Most people can't look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love myself. They can't believe in themselves. They can't embrace themselves and they can't tell themselves, the best things in life and to have and to be the best things in life. Some people just can't do it. It's so hard. It's more easier for them to go on their knees and pray and cry and beg to some man in the sky and think some man gonna come and save them. Okay? Someone say here, what country accept people from all over the world? America is a great nation. Poor become rich. Yeah. Okay, I love that statement. No, in order to get people to leave their country, go to America, you have to first brainwash them from small to believe that America is the land of opportunity. I know the people who leave my country. Most of the people who ever leave my country to go to America, Canada, England, and so on, they have never been an asset to the country itself. They have always been a liability. And so they run away to go to another country so people don't see them fail. Some people rather fail outside of the country they born because nobody wouldn't know them. So if you leave and you go to America and live in Brooklyn and you live in a slum, When nobody ain't really know you so much, nobody ain't gonna know you became a failure. So with this kind of comment, it might sound intelligent to you, but not to someone who wake up. Because you can be, it doesn't matter where in Africa you is, you could be rich. It doesn't matter where in the Caribbean you live, you could be rich. It doesn't matter where in the world you live, you could be rich. Okay? So you don't have to leave and go to America. You don't have to leave and go to Canada, England. You don't have to go to none of those islands, okay, to be rich. Okay? So for you to make this kind of comment and to say America is a great country because people can travel from every part of the world and go to America, okay, it is because those people are already brainwashed, okay, and because they do not know, okay, that the power of their mind is what can create anything in this world. It is because they do not have any understanding of energy, vibration, and frequency. So they're on a frequency of believing that there's a country in the world that gives you opportunity. But the opportunity is in your mind. It's in your mind. So there are people who leave the islands and they go to America and they're still a failure. There are people who go to Canada, they're still a failure. There are people who went to England, they're still a failure. Anywhere you go, your mind will go with you. So if you're thinking like a loser in the Caribbean and you travel to America, you still think like a loser. That is why most people who leave and travel to America from the islands, they never come back here with millions and build their own country. They never do it. I've never seen it. How much people from my country who go to America come back here as multi-millionaire and start to build their country? I haven't seen it. So this comment here from Sherry Ash. Okay. It all depends on your mindset. Okay. So America ain't no great nation as what you think. Okay. Poor become rich here. You could become rich any part of the world. Someone say she says travel the world first. You have not seen other countries. I travel throughout the entire Caribbean. You understand? I travel throughout the entire Caribbean. And something I learned, for example, right? Trinidad and Tobago is known as a small country. Okay, with 1.3 million people. Okay. And where I am living here is just 120,000 people the most. Okay, and I'm telling you, I rather live in a country that have less people and where I could be more relaxed than to live in a country that Trinidad is fast and there's only 1.3 million people live there, much as to live in a country with 100 million people. It's like living in a concrete jungle. That doesn't cut out for me. Not for me. Traveling to America, traveling to go into all of these countries and all of that, that is not my kind of thing. I know any part of the world you travel, you have positive and negative people, and I know that your mind will follow you wherever you go. Don't make nobody fool you. You amount of people leave Africa, went to America, went to this, went to that. Why is it greatness? If America was the land of opportunity, as what they say, and was this great nation and where people become from poor to rich, you'd have been rich enough to go back to your country and build your country. Most people go to America and so on, they come back here and get into politics because they get taught in their colleges and their university, and they get introduced to certain brotherhoods and so on, and they teach them something and tell them, look, you could go back to your country and become the prime minister. Do you know I could become the prime minister of my country if I want to? So Sherry Ash, keep quiet with the American thing you're talking about here. You think stealing people oil and the minerals and bringing down government and setting up coups and all of these kind of things to have your way, that make you great, that don't make you great. So keep quiet. Okay. You say that you was born poor, you became rich in the USA. Nobody in this world ever born poor. You see? Something wrong with you thinking that you born poor. You never born poor. You think you born poor. Nobody born poor. Everybody born in this world, they born with their will and their perception. They're born with the reasoning, they're born with memory. They're born with intuition, they're born with imagination. How could you have intuition and imagination and call yourself poor? You was never born poor, Sherry Ash. You're born in amnesia. You're born in a state of not knowing who you are. Okay? And I say I'm not gonna go over hours, so definitely hour is up, and I definitely gonna just read these last comments here and so on. Okay? He said I was born poor and became rich in USA. That's bullshit. Many years ago, when people was living in the 80s and not even the 80s, in the 60s and the 50s, you could tell them that bullshit there. Say, come visit me and I will show you the good parts of America. Love to you from the great USA. Okay. You make me laugh. I have to beg for food now. I can eat best food. There's a place in America. I forgot the place in America, right? It's between America. It's between America and Mexico. I can't remember the name of the place, right? But it's in America. It are the fattest people. You talk about population of fat people, obese people, real obese people. I forgot the name of the place. But between Mexico and America it is. But it's in America, but very close to the border of Mexico too, okay? And the people, they hardly walk, they hardly do anything, they just eat a bunch of junk. So when people say, oh, they live rich because they get anything to eat, man, come on, man, something wrong with you. Yeah, McAllen. Yeah, that's the place. McAllen, Texas. That's the place they eat and get big and fat and obese. And you tell me that is life? That's not life, man. Life is better in the Caribbean than in America. I could tell you that. It's not money. It's not money. It's not about money. It's not about money. It's about the feeling. It's a feeling you carry. Is a feeling. Once you obtain that feeling, you always have that feeling. It doesn't matter where you go. So, for example, the amount I accomplish in my country, right? If I go to a bigger country like America, okay, I could times that by 1,000 times. Okay, if you tell me that, I would agree with you. Okay, but for example, right, in my country, you wouldn't see people driving around Rolls Royces and so on and all of that. You know what I mean? The infrastructure and so on. You know what I mean? If you're in a very flat area and so on, you can do that. But, you know, we live in a more mountainous country and so on and all that. So you might find things like, you might find a Range Rover. So I would rather have a Range Rover than a Rolls Royce. You understand what I'm saying? Because it fit the photography, however, trying to get the right word. The terrain, okay, of the country. Okay. So it's all about the way how you feel about yourself. So yeah, it's the feeling you need. Okay, rich, being wealthy is a feeling. It's a feeling. That's why the book I would have written called Your Mood is Your Fortune. Your mood is your fortune. It's your fortune. Okay. The Bible is your magic book. Use it. No man on the outside come and save you. Okay, so I really, really, really want to thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I thank everyone for their comment, and I would encourage you to continue to like, to subscribe, to comment, okay, to share these videos, and to know that God is not on the outside. Everything that you desire is within you. I experienced my God, so that's why I can speak like this. That is why I could have exposed certain things about certain people who's on the internet also, who been part of secret brotherhood, and they don't want you to know these are the things that they have hidden in secret brotherhood. That's why when you start to become more enlightened and you start to awake, they want to reach out to you to join their cabal and to be a part of their cabal and so on. But I'm not a part of that kind of game. I don't play it that way. I have no judgment against anyone. Okay, I don't associate secret brotherhood, lodges and so on with the devil and so on. I don't associate them with no devil. That's foolishness. That's for the religious people. But the thing is, I want to deliver my message to humanity and help people to become the best version of themselves. That's what I'm talking about me. Okay. So, my brother, my sister, I really, really want to thank you very much. I want to say, if you want to get my books, the links are down in the description. If you want to do a one-on-one with me, you can link me up by email. I have a Patreon community, and I have a course here that's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. Along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. So, whatever, okay, you need, the links are down below. Okay. This last comment here, Sherry says, USA government helps citizens. They are not perfect, but they help citizens. You do not need any help from anyone. No government is responsible for you. You're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your life. Don't make no one fool you. No one in this world could help you if you know how to help yourself. And that's why I'm teaching you self-help. Okay? The Bible is a self-help book if you understand it the right way. If you understand the metaphysical and esoteric way. If you understand it the psychological way. And if you be mentored by a true master. I'm not one of those persons who have a bunch of information to share with you from a bunch of books you would have read and so on. No, that's why I keep saying the same thing over and over and over, because I base everything on what I would have experienced, and I share my experience with the world. And I know when I change my thinking and I start to put certain things into operation and I start to take action and so on in my life, I see how my life changed for the better. Okay, and that's why I'm sharing it with the rest of the world. Okay, so if you've been, as you say, if you've been enlightened because I share my message, okay, I want you to grow and expand further than thinking that you became a better person because you went to America. No, you can go back to your country, wherever you come from, and you could be a lighthouse there. You could shine there. Okay, because when you discover this secret of your higher self, you would realize that you can prosper any part of the world there is. You would realize that. Okay. She says here, I heard about Neville and Abdullah from you. But have you listened recently where I was exposing Neville and the whole Abdullah lie that he came up with? Okay, so you go check out that too, if you never check that out. So, my brother, my sisters, there's a lot of people out here that is competing for your mind to control you. Okay, and there's a lot of lies out here. Very few people, okay, is gonna come and tell you the truth. And the truth is that everything that you desire is within you. Okay, like for example, this person stating about Abdullah Neville, and this person believed that there was a literal man named Abdullah. No, there was no literal black man named Abdullah. No black man wouldn't do that. Okay, I showed Neville got that family and their businesses, everything they have in my country. I could go on and on, but I'm not gonna go too long, you know. But I know all the lies. I don't see all the lies. I don't know all the lies. I don't check out all of the patterns and see how the patterns run in the islands and so on. And I know, I don't see and know who they behind everything. People think it's Trump who they behind Venezuela and all of that. No, I don't see who they behind Trump and all of them. Okay, so that's why I did a video back call from Gaza to Venezuela. I mean, it's the same strategy, same people. I don't see them. True and true. Okay. So, my brother, my sister, I really want to thank you very much. I want to say peace. Love you all. Check me out on my other live that I'm going on now, Black Mad Grow. Okay. So see you there also. Peace.